Greetings, church. It's Kevin Duclairon. I'm sitting here in the Sterling room. It's February 25th, 2023. I'm kind of shaken up here. I was filling out my record book and trying to keep up with what's going on here in Portland. It's snowing. It just snowed last week. And today is Saturday. It snowed on Wednesday night, and it's been really just one heck of a rough end of the week. And not a whole lot has happened in 2023, January and February. And let's see here. The preaching has literally come to an end without the telephone. The Lord hasn't really called me to preach in Portland, although preaching has been done. I don't have any of my notes here. I wasn't expecting this video to be produced. I've been lodging at Arbor Lodge and also lodging at Salvation Army, and I'll be honest with you, I have not been a very good brother because I have not stopped addressing some of the evil issues being done against me by the I guess they call themselves the community. Right now I'm in pain. My back here is in excruciating pain. Last night I slept at the Salvation Army with a group of people, and for the most part the cot was very uncomfortable. The night before I slept at the Arbor Lodge, and I was there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday morning, and it was very hectic. The homeless are really suffering and enduring. Not exactly sure what to call it, but God has been merciful in providing shelter, food, and clothing for everyone. Some are sick, others are just enduring it, you know. That's just how it is in the homeless world. I'm not going to get into details. I don't think that's fair because they're dealing with what's on their plate, and I'm dealing with what's on mine. I recently went to the emergency room and had to get some cold medicine. I didn't expect to go, but it was a zip kind of situation. Went in there, got some meds, and got out of there. Almost got into a situation with one of the nurses, but I thank God that nothing came of it. Apart from that, I still go to the police department and file reports when I can. Police and I, we lose respect for each other simply because this is one of those cases. Gabriel is still piercing and judging with all of that. Housing for 2023, I'm not sure where that's going. Let's see here. There's not a whole lot. I've done a couple of sermons, and I think the last sermon I did was Salvation Is. Wait a minute, hold on. I may be able to relate some of the things that I've said to you here, because I do keep a short journal. Let's see, not a whole lot in January. I mean, I did preach, but none of it is recorded. Try to give you some highlights here. It's kind of hard because I was playing here with this computer, and this is just like the Chromebook that I had, and I didn't think there was going to be a way to do a video this year at all. I wasn't expecting for a video to be done, but a video was done. My pack on January 13th was stolen. in front of Mr. Peep. I had to go over there and deal with that. While it was outside, somebody took the pack. I had a table and a camping stool. I had a backpack, the whole thing, the sleeping bag, just the whole thing that I usually would have carried, overnight shelter, ministry, my Bible, my signs, everything else that goes with the work. And they took it, and that was their judgment. And so I had to basically ask the public for someone to give it back. And some people gave money, and some people gave 20, some people gave 10, and it's never a direct, here's the money, go buy what you've lost, but it's in passing. Earlier today I was on my way here and somebody dropped a 5, and I struggled whether or not I would keep the 5 or not. And I told them, I basically said to the public, I'll give it back to the police department when I can. One of the issues I've addressed was slavery or salvation. What is the difference? Salvation is, that was something that I addressed. This month here, wasn't sure how long this video was going to be for, but as you can see, I'm ill-prepared, and I can't even keep the video on the computer. I'm going to have to erase it afterwards. Just looking through here to see if I have some of the information. Stayed at Imago Day back on the 13th February. We had a storm, and stayed there for overnight shelter. I think I might end up having to stay there again tonight. The city here, the county, will not open the housing doors. I'm having a struggle here with the housing community. I have put in an application back in October or November, and they would not honor the application and let me back in. They were doing some pretty unnecessary stuff. They went into my bank box and took out all of the videos for 2022. All the pictures gone, all the videos gone for 2022. And then they proceeded to the application that I had submitted. They gave me back the money into the account, and then they went back into the account and took the money back out again. So I couldn't figure out why they did it that way. The the community argued back and forth with me. It was a hit from 2021 from West Shore Apartments. She was out on me, Regan Smith. Remember that woman I had told you about a couple years ago? Back in 2021, September, October, November, December, I had filled out an application for their housing facility, and she didn't get back to me until January. Well, that woman came back through the community, and through the community, she basically took control over any kind of housing that I would have tried to get back into. So here in Portland, it basically, on account of her position, doors are closed up. I can't do nothing. If I leave Portland, maybe the housing community will give it back. Housing authority will give it back. I'm not too sure about that, but I'd have to leave Portland. And in leaving Portland, it's kind of hard to know where to go. If I go east, I'm going to be dealing with the Franklins. If I go north, I'm going to be dealing with the same thing that I dealt with last time with Seattle. And if I go back to California, which I can't, I'm still dealing with John indirectly. There was a woman in here a few minutes ago, and she turned around, and her face and her voice was extremely familiar to someone I had known back in New York State when I was in the straight world. I've been here now in Portland dealing with the community. I think they're the unbelieving community, LGBTQ community. They're always judging these people. One of the things I addressed this month is there's no bail money for eternal hell. I think that was the last sermon that I gave. There's no bail money for eternal hell. That's Galatians 3, 1 John 2, 1 through 2, and Romans 10, 9, and 10. So I spoke, this was a sermon that I had given in January, and then I gave it back to them in February 21st. There's no jail money for hell. My notes are not here. I removed them all. I wasn't even expecting to be in here. Here's a poster that I had done. Church, this is a poster that I had done here. This is the definition of church planting. It says, church planting, the work of establishing a group of believers to gather together to meet with God in prayer, worship, Bible study, and fellowship with one another in communion and baptism. And at the bottom here I have the New Testament Church of Portland, Walk with God Ministries, and so on and so forth. So this was an incentive, but with the opposition and me being by myself, there's no way I'm gonna be able to accomplish church planting. Church planting is null and void. There is no way of doing it, by oneself. See, apart from that, let's see here. I'm not sure. When they stole both the Bible and the Constitution, but these were replacements. These are the replacements for what was taken. Let's see here. It's not a whole lot that's going on. Yeah, I was able to renew my Secretary of State license for the state, for the ministry here in Portland. But that's about it. Sort of like a tax for non-profitable ministry. I submitted it in, but nothing becomes of it. I would not encourage any Christian to ever go in this direction with church planting. I would not encourage any Christian to venture out by themselves. If you're a believer, do not go in this direction. Do not go in this direction with your church planting life. If you're a Christian, don't do it this way. It will not profit you anything. I just unplugged this, and it showed that the volume was completely down, so I'm not exactly even sure if you are going to hear any part of this video or if it's even recorded. In any case, that's pretty much it. We're at the library. I think in March or April the library closes up again, and that's pretty much it. I don't really have a whole lot to say. God be with you this coming year, church. Keep plugging away and living for Jesus. God bless.